Greetings. This is Scholar Saunders seeing what's current. Now, the Bling Bishop, this person, uh, Bishop Lamor Whitehead, has been found guilty of fraud for being convicted of a crime that they said was a violence. They said it was a violent crime. It wasn't like he hit somebody over the head with a pipe. It wasn't like he shot somebody. It wasn't like he stabbed somebody. But fraud just carries that same kind of weight. It has that way of seeping into the consciousness and having it, further understand what is going on. So he is now behind bars. He couldn't he could make bail, but the judge restricted him from having it. And he was saying how he wanted to take care of his 16-year-old. I guess he has his 16-year-old children. He has a 2-year-old as well, and another middle child in there in between. And he should have thought about all that before he started defrauding people. That's the thing. That's the understanding of what it means to be a human being and be a rational, thoughtful human being. Somebody of justice and of integrity and honesty and pride. That's what it's about to be a human being. So he's definitely going to be, he's probably going to be hustling behind bars. He's probably going to be preaching the word. I can see him in the day room with the Bible and have a little audience of 2 or 3 people, going back and forth over the word of the Lord and the word of Lamor. I think that's how you pronounce the name. Is it Lamor? I gotta make sure I get that right. I think it is Lamor. Yeah, Lamor Whitehead. So he's gonna be definitely, spouting the good book, spouting the word that he couldn't follow. I mean, the Bible may be corrupt, but that may be because of the fact that, so many people put their trust in it, and they put their trust in other people when they should put trust in reason, purpose, self-esteem. Those should be the cardinal values of a human life. Those are the things that should be at the forefront, not trying to defraud people out of money. $90,000 was the amount of money that he defrauded this mother of the church. He had, and that was in Brooklyn, and he has another issue in the Bronx coming up, and he's embroiled in a $360 million case with web presenter, I guess is the best name, Tasha K. It's messy, child. It's messy. It's a shame, really, how he has to continue to be like this. He could have said, you know what, let me stop this. I don't have to go forward with this. I don't have to be on anybody's radar screen. I don't have to be on any police. I don't have to be on any FBI. Well, he's in all that now. He's in jail. They call it let me see what they call it. They call it, there's a special name for it. It's not just, it's federal jail. It's like right before you go to prison, but you're in a federal jumpsuit. So they said he's trading Dior duds for a prison jumpsuit. Some cold shit. He has it's ahead of a July sentencing for a crime of violence, which is true. It is violence. It's not maybe physical. It may not be, draw blood initially, but defrauding someone is violence against your life, against your person, against your everything that you hold dear, your belongings, your loved ones, your valuables. All that has to do with being a fraudster, somebody that's not real, somebody's fake, somebody's faking the funk, and he just happens to wear the Dior, Christian Dior, and the Louis Vuitton and all that, and drive fancy cars. I think he has a Maserati or something like that. I don't know exactly. I don't want to put false information out there, but I think he has some high end cars, and all of that's just passed. All that's passed away. That doesn't make any kind of conversation in regard to what he is and what he's about. So I would say that he has, definitely made a turn for the worse. Obviously, trying to gain favor and curry favor from parishioners and congregants in relation to their money. That's like, you can almost say it's from any pastor, but no pastor does the crime. They don't commit the crime. They do it spiritually. They don't do it physically. He physically committed the crime. He spiritually and physically committed the crime of fraud. So that's a disturbing and disgusting and horrific crime to commit, because it is an actual crime. It's not like drug possession. It's not like he was dealing drugs, moving weight from state to state, getting his grind on, illegally. He was defrauding. He was like, that's an obvious charge. That's without even question. That's without even an understanding of what he truly is, a fraudster. So he has to come to grips with that reality. That has to come, to the point where he knows exactly what he's talking about, what he is. Just because he has kids, that he should have thought about that a long time ago. Kids aren't the one; they're not, part of it. He had a large home in Paramus, New Jersey. They call him flamboyant. He had gold chains. He had access to Eric Adams. There's a picture of him on the New York Post. It reads, Whitehead has called Mayor Eric Adams a mentor and told him, a body shop owner, he was trying to con that a body shop owner, he was trying to con that the mayor would do whatever he wanted. That's the sad part about all of this. He blew the money on personal luxuries from Louis Vuitton, Foot Locker, and BMW. He also tried to get body shop owner Brandon Belmonte to lend him $500,000 in return for favors from the mayor. See, it gets real spooky out here. It gets really spooky right here when people are going up to the mayor, going up to the highest office in New York City, and he is, trying to deal with all the different immigrant issues and the price controls in the city and the slight uptick of crime. Not really, dramatic. It's not like the late 70s, early 80s New York, where it was really dirty, really grimy. And I have 0 follow viewers right now. I like that. That propels me. That encourages me to do better, do stronger. So he has everything going against him now. His whole persona, his whole credentials, his bona fide are in the toilet. Nothing he can do can make him come back. But of course, in the black church, he can say, Lord, forgive me for all my sins. And I repent to the Lord Jesus. Hallelujah, in the name of the blood and in the name of the Father. And then the parishioners and the congregants, oh, well, he said he's sorry. He admitted to his crimes and he's going to do his time. And we can now, praise the Lord and saying that he was saved, that Jesus, covered him in the blood. And, that's just the sad reality of, black churches, and not just black churches, but all churches, white, brown, red, yellow, it doesn't matter. They have a tendency, a propensity to be extra forgiving of everything. Doesn't matter what you do. You could be a multi-murderer. You could be a serial killer. Excuse me. You could be a serial killer, and they'll have people from the church go into the prison and say, your sins have been forgiven. You can go into heaven now. Like, those people that he murdered on the highway, the 15 women that he slashed up and mutilated, that doesn't count. Nothing. He can't go to hell for that. There is no heaven and hell, but I'm just saying, if there was, I mean, that would be the place that would be reserved for somebody of that ilk. And somebody of this ilk, even though he didn't slash somebody, he didn't stab somebody, he didn't shoot anybody, he still had the fraud case leveled against him because he was a fraudster. He was somebody that was siphoning money from out of people's pockets to pay for his luxury houses, luxury clothes, his extravagant vehicles, all of that. They call him the Bling Bishop. And that was fun. Ha ha he he. He was the Bling Bishop. That stuck to him. And I think now, which was something that was supposed to be very jovial and very play on words, Bling Bishop. Now it's like, damn, Bling Bishop, like he was all about defrauding people and making people a mockery, lying to them and saying and it's not Bernie Madoff. He's nowhere near Bernie Madoff style. That's a different. That's a huge fish. That was a huge fish. That was a marlin. Lamor Whitehead, he's more like a lot of trout. He's not just one big fish. He kind of reminds me of a collection of trout, making one case. And the case that he has now, he has to contend with the idea that the jury found him guilty already. So he has other cases coming up. So this is from the story. The decision to remand Whitehead is the latest twist in his sordid saga, which seems to be hurtling to a close after a Manhattan jury found the stylish preacher guilty in March of scamming a parishioner's elderly mom and trying to extort money from a Bronx body shop owner to whom Whitehead promised official favors from Mayor Eric Adams. Prosecutors have said Whitehead, who is still free after being convicted of fraud, attempted extortion and lying to the FBI, flashed confidential case documents in an April 30 live stream service, and used a Bible psalm to try to intimidate Pauline Anderson, the elderly woman whom he scammed out of $90,000. Now that's not Madoff. Madoff was like $190 billion, something crazy like that. But it's just as despicable, just as low grade. And I got 3 likes in here. I like that. I need 2 more people to match the likes. I need 200 more people. I need 200,000 more people in here. So tell a friend, but don't tell 2 friends. You know why? So it is incumbent upon us, the people that are of good character and good standing, to be more focused on the fact that people are engaged in criminal activity while purporting a lifestyle that says that they're righteous. Lamor Whitehead has been preaching the word of God, quote unquote, because he knew that would be the way around a lot of government interaction and entanglements. He knew he would have to be able to convince himself that he was a worthy person, a person that was capable of enjoying life without having to worry about being in confined spaces behind bars. And that's the sad part about all this, is that he had some kind of I'm an atheist, and I do not subscribe to the theory of God. However, I do respect people that do subscribe to various moralities such as Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and so many others in between. I have respect for them. It's a sad respect because it's like, why the hell are you doing that? Why do you continue to believe in something that doesn't exist? Why do you continue to ask questions like why when you know that everything happens for a reason, according to your word? If everything happens for a reason, why are you asking why? Just say it happens for a reason. That's all you have to do. And so Lamor Whitehead, the reason why he's in prison right now, or federal jail, I think they properly name it as, is because he's a monster. It's because he's a disgusting, ugly person. It's because he's awful. That's the reason why. He has, I think he had, church services where he was collecting, all this money. And what a church service. Thank you. I appreciate 3 for 3. 3 people in here, 3 people like. I like it. But he had the idea of, having a church because, most churches, if not all churches, are federally protected. And as I think even if they're incorporated, they don't have to have tax revenue or tax be taxed. That's it. Okay, now I'm back to zero. This is fun. It's like a roller coaster ride. Now it's in the one. Okay. But he had his own way of conveying to the people under him, the people that believed in the word of Jesus and the word of the Lord and God and hallelujah. He had them in his palm, and he had their money in his palm too. The way he conducted himself was somebody that was vicious and ugly and pernicious, and over time got worse and worse. That's the facts. And it's a shame that he has children that can't even look at their dad, they have to kind of sideways look at their own father because of the fact his actions. It comes to that. And just think about that. That's like with Madoff. Like, let me see. Let me show you how to be selfish. You defraud your friends and family and people around you and people that you love, and the character that they have, and Lamor Whitehead, excuse me, Lamor Whitehead, he said the same thing. You defraud people that are trusting you, that love you, and yeah, that's selfish. That's defrauding them. That makes for a better life. Especially with Bernie Madoff. I'm just giving parallels here. He had a son. His sons, not even the cops. It wasn't even the police. It wasn't even the feds. They were the ones that turned him in. They turned him in. They knew he was doing wrong. One of them committed suicide. The other one died of cancer a few years later. And then, you can argue and say, like, the suicide was a direct cause. And the cancer may have been, exacerbated because of the father's actions. It may have been worsened. That is the facts. That is the reality. That is the truth. That's what's so sad about this entire case, is that people think that, oh, he was selfish. Oh, he was thinking about himself. Really? Really? You think about yourself in a prison jumpsuit and behind bars, and you're smelling, somebody's fetid, excrement, elimination in the toilet next to you. That's really selfish. That's a selfish act. Is that really selfish? Is that what you're telling me? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I think the opposite of it, actually. It's completely selfless and unselfish to defraud people. He was not thinking of himself. He was not thinking about anybody. He wasn't thinking. He was just thinking about, the easiest way to get around something, the easiest way to get to something, to get to the money. That's all he was thinking about. He wasn't thinking about himself or anyone else. Just the means, and using other people as the means, and disrespecting and disregarding himself as someone that was of character and of knowledge and of wisdom and someone that could have been viewed as a pillar of society, quote unquote, of the New York metropolitan area. That's the sad part about all this. That's how sad all of this really gets to. That's the terrorism. That's the economic terrorism that he committed. He's a terrorist in that regard. I'm using it as a metaphor, but because that is a crime of violence. They actually got it right. 4 people in here. I'm glad. Make it 4 likes. I need 4 likes. But they actually got it right. That is violence. It's a crime of violence. Once you take somebody's livelihood, their possessions, their money, all of that, that's a crime of sincere force and violence against somebody. Even though you never touched them, even though you never sent somebody to batter their body or to destroy their body. That just because that didn't happen doesn't mean it's a natural fact. It's a natural fact that he's a fraudster that committed a serious, heinous, vicious crime. And multiple crimes, I think it was. Let me make 100% sure. I think he had a few of them. Here's the Bible quote he said. "Touch not my anointed," the flamboyant 45-year-old pastor allegedly said, quoting Psalms 105 to imply that he's beyond criticism because he's a pastor. Woo! The Fed said his little sermon violated a restraining order, according to federal court filing. So he couldn't even say the sermon violated a restraining order. Going on with the story, it says Whitehead tried to rebut the claims in court wearing a $3,000 outfit to the hearing May 13th by telling the judge that he did not willfully try to disturb any protective order. He was flying jiggy. He was zooming. He had the gold pendant with the Cuban link chain, the purple and red custom fit suit or vest and shirt. This dude was flying jiggy, gangster. All that came crashing down though, right on his head. Right on his head. All that came crashing down like a tree in a rainstorm. It's disgusting. It's disturbing. But it's a fact. Something that we have to come to grips with, and within the context of all the mega church preachers, all of them. Like, what are they doing? What can we inspect and look over the records of all these pimps in the pulpit, as they like to say? They make pimps have a bad name because he has no game. If you're getting busted for a fraud case, you have no game, none. Your game is gone, or it never was. You have no game. You have no essential, idea of what you are and who you are. You just are. You just happen to be a person that turned into a monster. I'll read a little further into the story. Let's see. We got his defense attorney, Don Florio, said Monday they were deeply saddened by the judge's decision. And what was the judge's decision again? Let me make sure. It says Bling Bishop Lamor Whitehead was sent to federal lockup Monday after a judge ruled one of his crimes, attempted extortion, required to be jailed before his sentencing, according to a law enforcement source. So they couldn't do that. Judge Lorna G. Schofield put the flashy fraudster behind bars after Manhattan federal prosecutors argued he should be locked up ahead of his July sentencing for the crime of violence. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit into more of the story. While we respect the court's authority, we firmly believe in Bishop Whitehead's innocence, and are committed to pursuing justice on his behalf. Can I just say a side note? I'm not interested in anybody saying they're innocent. Not in it. I'm not in. I need cohort evidence, or at least alleged evidence. You know, that's what I need. After Mr. Well, I'll just say Sean P. Diddy Combs, or Diddy, after his whole issue with the alleged tape showing him tossing around in a violent, vicious way, then girlfriend Cassie. I don't believe you. You need more people. Like, I don't get it. If it were me, if it's me and something, I'm telling the truth. I'm saying I did this. This is what happened, and I'm not gonna lie about it. You may find out about it later, but this is what happened, and I apologize. He should have said that months ago. No, when the video comes out, that's when he says it. See, that's that goofy shit. He knew ahead of time. He knew already that this tape could have been leaked somehow. And now that everybody knows it, it makes his whole case even worse. Everything that he says is going to be backed by, fallacies. And that's just giving you another, perspective in regard to the Whitehead case. So Whitehead is claiming innocence. He's claiming innocence. Claiming it. He's claiming it in the name of Jesus. So I need hard evidence to refute any kind of claims against him. And I don't think there are any. Got 4 people in here, 4 likes. I'm not mad. Let's keep it going. Let's get 400 people in here, 400 likes. 4,000 people, 4,000 likes. Let's go. But that's the space of it. That's the reality. And people don't want to talk like that. Nobody wants to say anything. Oh, well, he was a good person. He's a good person. He's a leader of the church. And he's a bishop, and he is just so great. And he helped out people. He was very selfless and unselfish and sacrificial. I just can't believe this is happening. Okay. Yeah, you say that now. But when the record shows, when the documents show that he's going to be when he is in fact sentenced in July and June. I think he has one in June and July. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has a sentence. He has a hearing in June and July. Let me make 100% sure. Okay, yeah. So it's July sentencing. Whitehead sentencing was scheduled for July 1st. He faces up to 85 years behind bars, according to prosecutors. Okay, so that's a heavy way to charge. That's a heavy way to possible sentence. Goddamn, that nigga's it's gonna be a problem for him in 85 years, especially with the booty warriors. Probably in where all that fly fancy stuff. Well, I'm the booty warrior, and I'm the new booty warrior. It's just that other guy I think is free now. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm looking it up right now. Felice Johnson. There's a Felice Johnson for Bishop Whitehead. Then it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a major issue. It's gonna be a major issue. So, that being said, he has everything against him. Everything against him. He has absolutely everything against him. He has, they may shorten the sentence. It'll probably be like 40 years. I don't know how, 85 years seems like a death sentence. That seems like he's going to die in prison if he's in fact convicted of another charge. It's a different charge, I think, because that's when the court appearances, the sentencing is scheduled for July 1st, because he was definitely found guilty. You can't escape that. They collared him way back in 2022. So there's that. All right. I want to get into a little topic besides Lamor Whitehead. I want to explore different ways of communication and expression. I'm trying to be specific here. If you're a writer, you're an editor, you're a creator, you're a vlogger, you're a blogger, please reach out to me. My Gmail is skylersaunders@gmail.com. That's scholarsaunders@gmail.com. I want to have a somebody that can be an editor for me, so that can look over my writings and stuff like that. That would be pretty cool for me. I think that just brainstorming different ideas. What are the possible ways of people that can be creative, and especially in this day and age, we have AI, quote unquote, artificial, not quote unquote, but artificial intelligence. Maybe it is quote unquote, because I like to say learning machines. But this every function, it seems like now, has some kind of form of an AI. Facebook, Meta, I think all the Meta channels do, or most of the Meta channels, Facebook, and I think Instagram, and maybe Threads. I'm not 100% sure, but the idea of the artificial intelligence, I'm just going to use it liberally today, for this purpose. That's a very contentious thing, because I've tried it. I tested it out before, and it's very close. It needs some, like Aaron Sorkin, Mr. Aaron Sorkin, a great screenwriter and director. He said, I think he said it needs some polish. I think that's what he said. When they read back an artificial intelligence script of The West Wing, it collected data, but it was not. It still feels mechanical. It didn't have the same soul, the same grit, and understanding that his screenplays have. But that's just the power of the power of human ability. We human beings, we're not yet at that stage. We're not at that science fiction stage of being completely away from the machines and have them direct our lives. Everybody's waiting for the mechanical overlords, like in the Matrix, and human beings will be harvested and put in a different realm. And once you get into the Matrix, though, it's a totally different realm. I mean, I like to use, and Mr. Troy Star Terrain says he says, the internet is the Matrix, and I agree with him. It's very, very close. I mean, there's so many parallels between the Matrix saga and the internet. It's very close. There are very close similarities to both. So I was just wondering that. I'm still wondering, because they have on Vocal.media, which is the publishing platform which I use. They have to have a little button to turn on or off. This was formed or generated by artificial intelligence. I think you have to click on that, or you could be in trouble or something like that. You have to tap it, unless you don't want to strike against you, because that's what people do. People are using AI for book reports, everything from book reports to PhD dissertations, and so it's very goofy, the world we live in now, and it just seems like it accelerated. It was just last year that I learned. I think it was before, but I learned about Chat GPT, and that was just like, it's just a fun thing to do. You just type in, oh, who is this, and who is that, what is that about, what's the percentage of that, and you'll get an automatic response. And then sometimes it says, well, I can't do that. So I made sure that I had make my stories like AI proof. Like you wouldn't be able to penetrate into my story realm. You won't be able to say, "Oh, this was generated by AI. Toss this out. Forget this. Get this out of here." No, it'll be a totally different way of expressing myself, and that's the way that I will continue to be. I don't want to use AI as a crutch. I want to use my mind, my brain, the originator of creating, But I know there are instances where people that use AI. There's multiple, instances with people that use AI for medical care, use it for using crafting vehicles, crafting even art, beyond the literature. But the graphic arts, the physical arts, sculptures, paintings, and everything like that. You may not be able to tell. That's how little bit of little people get scared about the fact that you can't tell one painting from another and saying, oh, which one was AI. But I think that could be a good thing in the future, and it could be because we would have learned machines that would be able to prevent diseases. They'll be able to in a lab grow whole human beings and have organs that you can transplant into human beings. I'm being real sci-fi right now. I know I get it, but just hear me out for this. I just thought it was one thing because I woke up early this morning, wrote, and that's like my daily routine. And you can also go to vocal.media, look up Skylar Saunders, SkylerSaunders, just in case you were interested. But seriously, there's always that option. There's an option for you to do that. There's the ability to do that. So I think that's very telling of where we're headed. I think there's going to be positions for people that will say they took her jobs. A lot of people are going to say they took her jobs, and not realizing how many other jobs that will be created. Just like I said before about farming, there used to be the amount of farmers in like 1902 or 1900 was like, I don't know. I'll look it up. Hell, I got time. Percentage of U.S. All right, they said they got it right here for me. 40% of the U.S. workforce worked on farms. 40%. Today, less than 2% of the U.S. population works in agriculture. That's what I'm talking about. We have to have some kind of revolutionary, action for that. The reason, they took our jobs. They didn't say the farmers didn't. They weren't mad. They went into different fields. They became investors and scientists and teachers and professors and artists and writers and designers and architects. They knew how to do another hustle. They knew how to switch their hustle. And that's what I think is going to happen with a lot of the jobs we have today. The AI is going to take over. You're just probably going to have to manage them. They won't be late for work. They'll show up on time. They won't have to have a coffee break. They won't have to have a whole lot of things. They could be sent to war. Think about that. What if there was a way for we can make a whole collection of warriors that could be able to fight on the fields of battle and not have one human life at risk? That would be extraordinary. That would be amazing. That would be a great feat for us to be able to achieve that. To have one side have zero casualties whatsoever, no deaths, no wounded, nothing. It would just be all synthetic personnel. that would be mind blowing. Like, but there's people that would argue against that, like, oh, well, it's not real war, it's not real fight. There's always honor and bravery, and you can say that about the past. You can say it about the current wars that we're fighting. The current actions that we're involved in. But that doesn't have to be the truth for the future. With the future, we could have so many people rally around the idea of learning machines and continue to be contributors to the larger place of their own lives, their own selfish lives. That's the best way we can be. So I'm just wondering if you know anyone that's good with AI, that can tap into something, just hit me up. I'm gonna do a quick rundown of my ads for now. Okay, check out my main man Pang's products from LifeStrongApparel.com. LifeStrongApparel.com has multiple products such as fitness gear and fruit infused products that have sea moss in them. So they're very tasty. The blueberry is tasty. I know that for a fact. I've tasted it before. I've had it and enjoyed it, and I showed it on air. Me eating it. But yeah, so I appreciate Pang for showing that, and I appreciate him for being a great guy and a stand-up guy. Like I said, he brought it to my door. I ate some in his living room right in front of me. No, actually, I didn't do that. I take that back. I showed it on my broadcast that I ate it. But he is a great guy, and when you go to his website, tell him that the goofy guy Scholar Saunders sent you. Also, subscribe to at BEEJACKSON 5478 on YouTube. He's got sardines on the grill, near beer reviews, fried chicken, and a wicked sense of humor. So just check him out. He's a great guy. Tell him that goofy guy Scholar Saunders sent you. Also, go to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube.com. That's SPIRITSMOOTHTUNES on YouTube.com. Tell him the goofy guy Scholar Saunders sent you. And also, if you'd like to advertise or sponsor for the show, you can go to scholarsaunders@gmail.com, the aforementioned site, website, email address, I said. And we had our first $100 in a month. $100 in a month. Mr. Height. Mr. Height sent that to us, to me. Because it's for a good cause. The $100 is for a good cause. It's called my bank account. And that's a great cause. See, I'm not going to, pussyfoot and, equivocate and, say, oh, well, it's for Jesus. It's for the Lord. It's for God. That's fine for anybody else. But for me, it's for my bank account. It's for me to sustain a greater life for myself. But also, you can do that by way of PayPal, which is paypal.me/SKYLERSAUNDERS. Venmo at SKYLERIZED. And my favorite Cash App, which is $SKYLERSAUNDERS1. Just the number 1, not ONE. Just 1. Okay, so that's what I'm waiting for too. I'm waiting for, there's going to be people that are going to, manipulate the system. That's the weakest way I got to probably put it. I put it in stronger terms, but people are going to use AI and different learning machines to extract money from banks and stuff like that. It's going to be quite an interesting ride. It's going to be really interesting to see how many people are going to be, on the good side of this and then on the bad side of it. There could be, 10,000 Lamor Whiteheads that are going to be, defrauding people out of their money based on artificial intelligence and things of that nature. He could have some kind of ring. I'm not trying to give ideas, but there could be a ring, of different AI or synths or synthetic people. I call them synths. Um, they can all be corralled into one occupation of just taking money from different accounts or a little bit of time. Much like I have 0 viewers right now, by the way. Much like Superman 3 and Office Space, and I think a few other movies and TV shows and books. Where they take a fraction of a percentage of a penny, and they multiply it over a few space of time, and they collect money from that. I mean, I can see that happening. And who will be at fault? I think they would have to channel it back to whoever human is at fault. Hopefully, they won't have to say, "Well, this synth is going to prison." I can't see that happening. That'd be weird. That'd be very strange. They'd have to get the root of the cause, the human being behind it, and that's all that would matter. Is the fact that you get somebody that is totally against reality. Someone who's against the truth. So that's what I think about that. So if you have artificial intelligence and AI and learn machines that create a totally different model for people, I think that's amazing. Like I said, 40% in 1900 farm work. Today, less than 2%. Farmers aren't crying. They found different ways. They found different ways of using it. And that's the thing too. They have more equipment and sometimes less equipment and more product. They use fewer tools and instruments to create agriculture, and they usually just try to do is whatever they can to make ends meet. Exactly, to be honest, and that's with anything. It's with that's what the Luddites did. The Lud from the 19th century, I think it was, when he destroyed, and he and a bunch of the people destroyed, I think typewriters or something like that. Not typewriters, excuse me. Sewing machines. They just destroyed the sewing machines. It was crazy. That's the hatred of that's the hatred of it. That's the hatred of advancement, human advancement. That's the hatred of it. There's this serious idea behind that. It's the hatred of the good for being good. Salute to Black Cuddy, the first person in here all day. I'm in here for 48 minutes, and Black Cuddy is the first person. Salute. Man. So salute to Black Cuddy. I'm going 1 to 2 to 4. That's the fact. That's the highest I gotten on here. It's 4 people. Let me get some AI to get me more views. I'm kidding. I have to get the reviews, the views on myself. Yeah, I'm early. I'm testing out something. I'm testing out the blue room. I'm no longer in the Cowboys room. I'm testing out the blue room, the lighting. I'm just doing like a dry run. I'll probably be doing something 4 o'clock, tomorrow. Or I might do a whole show again today. I don't know. But yeah, Black Cuddy, let me like I said, thank you for the like. I know that was you. Let 2 or 3 people know, but not 4 people, because I wanted to say, who's that goofy nigga with the gold tie and the black shirt and the black hat? Just tell 2 or 3 people. You don't have to send me any money. Just tell other people about me. That's all I need. So I really don't. I see myself as being early, quote unquote, because I'm usually on at 4 or after that. But I'm really on it anytime. I'm on it anytime. I was on at 10 o'clock in the morning one day. So that's for the global contingency. I let my friend know. Appreciate that, Black Cuddy. Appreciate it. He said that. I let my friend know. That's for the worldwide audience. I have people in Denmark. I have people in UK. I have people in Canada, all outside the United States. So I appreciate everybody that tunes in, everybody that logs on, everybody that supports me. Like I said, Height became the first one to become to enter the $100 club. He gave me $75 yesterday. I was like, God damn, that's setting off the tone right for the week. So I was feeling that. But that is the idea of it all. Learn machines, that'll comb through and see, would you like to see this person be, in your live chat? Would you like to see this? Yes, I would. I would like to see that. I can just imagine that. I can see, AI saying, how many people do you want in your room? I want 1,000 people in here. I want 200,000 people in here. I want 1 million people in my room. I want 1 million likes. But I know you're going to have to, if that has to happen, you're probably going to have to pay. Yeah, thank you, Black Hood. He says congrats to the drop. Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, well, okay. He's serious. Because he gave me $25 earlier in the month, and he just gave me $75 this week. So I'm feeling it. I'm feeling myself. Let me do the belly rub. You can't see me, but I'm doing the. I can see up here. I do the chest rub. Yeah. So, and artificial intelligence it's not a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think so. I think they're diagnosing cancers with artificial intelligence. They're checking for different viruses with artificial intelligence. I think it's a beautiful thing. It can be used wrong, just like anything. A gun is a tool. Could be used to defend yourself, or it could be used to murder other people. It's not the tool's fault. It's the human or the person behind it, or the, dare I say it, synthetic person behind the tool. Because that's when it will get really scary. You have synths programmed to shoot and kill people. I'm getting real sci-fi right now. I know. I'm writing a sci-fi story right now. I'll put that in the comments. Let me put that in the comments. Let me say right now. The latest story. You can read the other stories too, but this is the latest story. Can we talk about Shine in 7 minutes? What do you want to talk about Shine? I haven't done any research really. I just know that he's talking, against Diddy, saying he was the fall guy. That's as much as I know about Shine. You feed me information, and I'll see if I can talk about it. You keep feeding me information, and I'll see what I can say on it. But artificial intelligence, I mean, it's just synthetic beings, just could be good for used for ill. It could be used for good, just like anything else. Just like anything else. A knife can use to cut your steak or slice somebody's face. It's all dependent on the action. It's all dependent on the impetus. It all depends on the function of the person behind the tool. And also, that's another thing. This is a real close thing. A bone saw or a saw in general, some kind of saw can be used for good or ill. They can be used for hacking off a limb of a person with diabetes to save their life. Hack off a foot, hack off a leg, But then you have a chainsaw murderer who hacks off limbs because they're psychotic, because they're they don't have a mind to say I want to do the righteous thing, so that's and people equivocate that. They say, oh, well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. The doctor who sawed off the leg is the same as the axe murderer or the chainsaw murderer who sawed off or hacked off a leg and killed the guy. It's the same thing. Same thing. Totally different. Using the same tools, using the same method, you're hacking off limbs, but you're two totally different situations, two totally different outcomes as well. All right, I'm gonna try to help out Black Cuddy. See how long I go. I don't know. I could go a little longer. I don't know. We're gonna see how long I could go. I like this. He was allegedly accused for domestic violence with his wife in Belize. Okay, this is about 1.5 years ago. This is all Black Cuddy. I did not know that. What do you want me to speak about? I'll talk about it. Thank you for telling me. I appreciate it. He needed to make that statement for his political purpose. What's his political purpose? Is he still? Isn't he still? He's still a Jewish follower, right? He's a follower of Judaism, correct? And remember, we had jokes. I mean, it's not even funny anymore. It's definitely not funny anymore. Not after that Cassie video, allegedly. Anyway, we were laughing like, oh man, like, I mean, it wasn't funny in the beginning, kind of, we say, but either you're dead, locked up, or you went to some kind of mystical change if you were on Bad Boy. So it was like Biggie got killed, Craig Mack went to some religious sect that was like extreme. G-Dep went to jail. He came out of jail now. Black Rob, he died. Mark Curry, I think he refused his publishing. Danny Kane, I don't think they have access to the publishing anymore. They could have gotten it. Who else? Mace, obviously, he went to Atlanta, became a mega church preacher. It's just, what did he do beyond what we saw allegedly on that video? I mean, what did he say in their heads behind closed doors? What did he? And that made him say, "Whoa, this is, I gotta get out of here. I can't do this. I can't be part of this no more. I can't do this." But Shine, he shot into a crowd, shot a woman in the face, but the woman is saying that Diddy shot her in the face. Feed me, Black Cuddy. Let me know his political purpose. Let me know. I'm very interested now that you're saying. We can go on a little bit longer, if you like. It's been an hour. We'll see if we can go on a little bit longer. But yeah, so I think Diddy just blew it. He is the American nightmare. He used to say, "I'm the American dream," but he is the American nightmare. He has that arc. He has an arc of, humble beginnings, then, early success, then meteoric success, then kind of settling out, then declining even more, then declining and declining more, and denouement. Okay, he says he's running for election this year for prime minister of Belize. Wow. Okay, and he had to state that he was violent towards his wife in order to let the people understand so they can vote for him. Is that correct? Did I get that correct? Do I understand that properly? That's what Black Cuddy's saying. Black Cuddy's saying he's running for election this year for prime minister of Belize. So Diddy, man. Well, what I'm trying to think some more. I mean, day 26, yeah. Um, just different people, just on a different level. Excuse me, but he blew it. He blew it. He definitely blew it. He had everything. He had the money. He had the fame. He had the people behind him. He had, connections and emotions. That's the reason why. Emotions. He emoted the whole time. He emoted. He didn't care. He didn't care about life or liberty or anyone else's, standing in life. He emoted. He used emotions. And it shows a video of him throwing stuff around in his office and going crazy like that. He was a hothead. He's a hothead. And then he'll be real cool and relaxed and sedate. Be like real through. But then you'll see him running and knocking someone over the head with a bottle. I don't think there's any footage of that, but it's come out. Steve Stout. But Shine, it's Shine time. Shine. I don't even know what to make of Shine. He served 9 years behind bars. He served his time. Did he have to also explain that too? Not just the fact that he was violent to his wife, the fact that he had to explain that he had a 9-year prison sentence. I'm looking for it right now. John announces the social that there's no place for violence against women. Okay. He calls it repugnant. It's abhorrent. He didn't say abhorrent. I put abhorrent, but for assaulting Cassie. He says there's no place for violence, but and he says this. He says he vehemently, I'm gonna say that wrong every time. I vehemently condemn violence against women. Honorable Dr. Shine Barrow. So he earned his doctorate in prison. Is that true? Yeah, Shine. Accusing Puffy, but is Black Cuddy. Shine. Accusing Puffy for domestic violence, but he also has a heavy hands that swing. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like. He's calling it repugnant, literally, quote unquote. But what is that to say? What else can be said about that? What else can be said about that? Let me make sure I have that right. He has a doctorate. Sean has a doctorate. The Dr. Shine. Yes. In March 2022, Shine received a doctorate of humane letters, honoris causa, from the University of Liberia for his life's work as a humanitarian, musician, and legislator. Good Googa. He changed his name to Moses Michael Levy Barrow, or already was named, but known by a stage name Shine. Something tells me I just can't. I can't get behind his words. Okay, so Black Cuddy says Liberia. I don't think he ever set foot on the continent of Africa. Yeah, he must have did correspondence courses, something like that on the internet or something like that. I'm pretty sure he did something like that. I don't think he's ever been to Africa, but he's back in Belize. Let me see. Black Cuddy says, I wonder how much is a doctor's degree from Liberia cost. Allegedly, wink, wink. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how much money he has. Said he married a businesswoman named Catherine, and a year later they had a daughter, Naomi. He did change his name. Okay. Moses Michael Levy Barrow. He celebrates Jewish Sabbath and Jewish holidays and has been studying Judaism. Huh. I don't know. It's a mad world, they say. It's a mad world. You look at all the evidence, all the different thoughts and ideas against them, Give him his due. He served 9 years. Just like late great O.J. Simpson, he served, I think, 8 years. Just you can't. I mean, you can make this stuff up. Somebody can write this. I think AI can probably write this. But thank you for the like. I appreciate the like. Whoever had the like, I appreciate that. Thank you for the like. But I need more viewers. Give me my viewers. Thanks for the likes, but give me my viewers. Oh, there we go. Hold up. Wait a minute. It's almost 10 o'clock, goddamn, where Cream TV is right now. Salute to you. See, I would have been in bed a long time ago. But he said, you know what? Let me look at this goofy ass nigga. See what he has to say. See what he's talking about. Earlier in the show, I was talking about Lamor Whitehead. He's a pastor or a bishop that was convicted of fraud. And he's going to be sentenced in July. The sentence could run up to about 85 years. I don't think he's going to get 85 years. He might get 20, 25, maybe something like that. I don't think it's going to be 85 years, but they just like to add on as many years as possible. But yeah. Kareem TV says, I remember that preacher. Yeah, I remember him too. He when they had the shots rung out, he was on the floor. You never know. He could have been in on all of that. You never know. It's allegedly. I'm not gonna say he was. I'm just saying allegedly. But yeah, so that's what I was talking about earlier. And then I got into about good 15, 20 minutes about artificial intelligence and learning machines. And now I'm talking a little bit about Shine because Black Cuddy, he's giving me his word that he's going to tell at least two his friend that about the show. So I appreciate that. So if you want to talk about anything Korean TV, I'm here. I'm just testing out because I usually come on around 4, and I could go to 4. I'm all for that. It's almost 4 now. 20 minutes from now. So yeah. So if if any of my views offend you, please go to your nearest church. Because if you scared, go to church. If you scared, go to church. But I think both of you, Black Cuddy and Cream TV, are my only viewers right now. We need to change that. There has to be at least 300 viewers at one time, or at least 3,000 viewers at one time. 4,000. Now it's down to one. One of y'all guys left. So, but I like the 6 likes. I appreciate that. So with Shine time. Moses, I should say. Moses Barrow. Is what? Oh, I forgot a guy. Loon turned into a Muslim. Like, it's the weirdest thing. He had ties to Diddy. He was on Bad Boy for a little while. Turn around. He's a Muslim now. Christian, a Jew, and a Muslim. All associated with Diddy and Bad Boy. Not to say anything that's. I mean, I'm saying it's wrong because I'm an atheist, but not to say that there's something evil or pernicious about it or vicious about it, just on its face. But it's interesting. It's very interesting. One person became a Jew, one person became a Baptist minister, another person became a Muslim. How, Sway? How does that? Nothing like that happened at a Rockefeller that I understand, except the artist formerly known as Kanye West. The artist Ye, lost his goddamn mind. I had bipolar disorder as well. I had bipolar long before he was diagnosed. I had bipolar disorder diagnosed in 2008. 0 viewers right now, by the way. And it's I'm okay because I'm on the right psychiatric drugs. I don't know if he was on the right drugs at the time. I think he was getting a little saucy, just like anybody. Like, they get saucy and they get they start talking. Irv Gotti, Ye, Benzino, he started crying. Like, what the hell is like that show is the devil. I'm the devil, but that show is really the devil. I mean, everybody goes on there. Most people, not everybody, but some people that go on there, they have a total breakdown. They have a total meltdown, either on the show or afterwards. Very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Have one viewer again. It's like 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 1, 0. But that's all right. I respect it. But yeah. So all the people that are aware of the ideas what Shine had, I guess that I guess bled into the idea of what Diddy had. He's saying he found the allegations repugnant. I guess you have to still say allegations, even though it looks like it's very clearly him and Cassie. But you still have to say allegations, I would imagine. But he has a certain way about him. He has a certain, je ne sais quoi. Like, I don't. He got a doctorate. He has a doctorate. I should be saying Dr. Barrow. Dr. Barrow. He earned his degree, from Liberia. Like Black Cuddy said, I don't think he set foot in Africa. He probably had email or online courses and stuff like that. It was only 2 years ago. So you have to take into account the fact that he's a changed man. It looks like he's a changed man. He got robbed. When did that happen? Kareem TV says he got robbed on live. Kareem TV says it was crazy. I did not know that. Let me know a little further. Let me know a little more information. I'll do it myself. Let me see. I'm not seeing that. You have to go into to a little bit more. You would have to go into a little bit more detail, my friend. Korean TV. I did not see that in my little amount of research. I did not see him get anything about him being robbed. Not to saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I didn't see it. I haven't come across it. You could be absolutely right, but I just didn't see it. No, I'm not into religion as well. Okay, that's cool. That's good. I mean, it's what it is. It's not necessarily a good thing or bad thing if you are a person. It's just your choice. It's just choice. Doesn't make you a bad. I mean, there'll be billions of bad people. The world is full of believers. Most of the world are believers. Now, of course, they can't really, say that they've read the Bible or the Torah or the Hadith or the Quran. They can't really say, I'm always, preaching and saying the word and saying it at all times. And I don't ride in a car. I ride a horse and buggy. I wear black and white. I wear a burqa. You see where I'm going here, My dad is Muslim and mom is Christian. Okay. I think you might have told me that before, but that's interesting. That's what Kareem TV just said. He said, my dad is Muslim and mom is Christian. Okay. I don't know how that works. I hope that works well. Apparently, it looks like. Are they together? Kareem TV. I might. This seems very familiar. I'm getting deja vu a little bit. Are they together? Your dad and your mom? We say mom, by the way, in America. I know Europeans say mom. English speaking Europeans say mom. Just curious. But Miss Dr. Barrow, see, I'm confused. I called the doctor Mister, and that was like a major faux pas. And I hope I totally I'm completely apologize for that. That was my slip up. It wasn't a Freudian slip, but it was a slip. I didn't mean to call him Mister. Really, I was like Doctor. I was like Mister Doctor. It was really awful and very gauche and mainly a faux pas. Sky, you should call into Stars next show. I might do that. I might just do that. I mean, if I have something to say, then I'll get on the line. Or if he gives me impetus, if he gives me the battery on the back, like he does sometimes, then I go in, I do a little research, and I go in on it. But yeah, so I'll do it. But you didn't answer my question. Is your dad and your mom still together, Kareem TV? Are they still a union? I'm just curious. I just want to know. Just he didn't have to say. He didn't have to. I just like to say, oh, okay, they made it work, or maybe they didn't make it work. I don't know. That's a clash. That's a very clash thing. But a lot of people don't realize this. Muslims are trying to do. Well, Cream TV, you didn't let me know before you leave. Let me know if your mom and your dad are together still. Right before you leave, just let me know. Just real quick. Let me know. I had to give him. I had to ask him. Lord of mercy. Now it's down to 0. Okay, maybe I'll pick up at 4 o'clock again. Now I'm back to 1. Okay, I'm getting these little. But if I had the mobile device, that's the thing. If I had the mobile device, it'd be up to like 6, 7, 8, 10, and then over time it'll be up like 97, 100, something like that. But if I do the webcam, it's like 12, 20, something like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the algorithm says when you're on a mobile. Maybe it's a quicker way of seeing, sifting through rather than the webcam. Maybe the phone, the mobile device is easier to pinpoint. I don't know. I don't know, as my niece would say. What I think is, so crucial nowadays is the way that we communicate with each other. I want a woman who is a English teacher or a scientist or something, just educated in some way that's really rigorous. Like an English teacher would know you have to put a semicolon there, you have to take the colon out, you have to put the the parentheses here, and that's the kind of woman I'm looking for right now. That's the kind of woman I'm interested in. I can do a whole paradigm. I can do a whole expression about the chemical structure and the different elements. Oh, I know about physics. I know about the different elements. I know about waves and particles, stuff like that. That's the kind of woman I'm interested in right now. I'm really looking forward to it. She could be an objectivist. I could kind of make her an objectivist one day if she chooses to be one. But it's really goofy. It's weird. I don't want just a chick to just lay down with. Anybody can lay down with that chick. That's possible anyway. I can do that. I've done that. But she was smart too. She was a student though. She was an undergrad at the time that I was with her. She was an undergrad, so that kind of changed the dynamic of things. She was still very smart though. She was a quick-witted young lady, but yeah, I'm looking for a female who is astute. Who I'm looking for I take a master's. I could go as far as that. I would love to take a master's or a doctorate. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. She would have, because that's the thing with college in itself. College isn't. I mean, students are sex. I'm gonna smash as many chicks and the girls or the LGBTQ. Here's your turn. You can smash as many people. Non-binary. As you want. That's college. That's the idea. You're from West Kansas, but now you're in New York. You're going to Columbia, and you're around all these different people. You've never been in the city before. It's a totally different realm. It's a totally different world for you. So you're going to be interested in a lot of people, and that's going to be the idea of college. But of course, there is the whole point of college, what your parents are paying for, what you're paying for, and you'll be paying probably into your 50s, is the fact that you want education. That is the idea of college. Even though the social scene is to get laid. That's the whole idea of going to class, going to university, is to get laid. That's the whole point. And with as many people as possible. That's the whole point. So what am I saying here? I'm saying college and university is for education as well, though. As well as an afterthought. It's to get your degree together. It's to get your thoughts together. It's to get your mind right and explore. And that's what I'm saying too. It's not just about sex. It's about wine tasting. And when you're of age, when you're hit 21, and sometimes before then, you're drinking beer, you're drinking wine, you're in different clubs and different organizations. You're in secret societies, like Harvard has, the different and the other school, especially Harvard. Harvard has, even something as light as the National Lampoon. You know, there's you go in there. There's a point where you can't even be. No cameras are allowed, and no one's allowed to talk about what goes on and a certain initiation process that you go through. So that's something that's very interesting to me. But that's like what the fraternities and anything like that. Just goofy, weird, borderline, homoerotic stuff that goes on in these fraternities, and they take them to their grave. I was in a fraternity. I was in a gun club. They called it the United States Marine Corps. So that counts, That could be one thing. That's definitely something. But college is something that is. I love this time of year. It's one of my favorite times of year. I love the commencement speeches. The reigning champ is, of course, Steve Jobs, the late great Steve Jobs. He had the greatest, I think, commencement speech of all time. His is the one to be emulated. His is the one to be looked up to. His is the one to be copied and at least if not in complete physical speech, just in spirit, just capture what he was trying to say. His whole goal was to say, you can be more than just somebody that's at a desk. You can have a love for what you do, a love like he had for products, like the love he put into what the engineers made for him to be the CEO, and the iPod and the iPad and the iPhone, all these different things and so much more. But just that love that you put into your ideas and your thoughts and your products. That's the idea that you have to contain and carry with you for the rest of your life, and it extends to your loved ones and your family and your offspring and everything like that. But first, it has to do with work. Without work, there is no other thing beyond it. There's nothing to go with it. You have to have the work ethic to extend. It has to be about love. It has to be about a love for the thing that you're working on. But beyond that, there's some of my other favorites: Conan O'Brien, Stephen Colbert, Aaron Sorkin, August Wilson, just to name a few different speakers. I'm trying to think about any female speakers. I'm trying to remember. There were a few ones. I think maybe Jodie Foster. She might have been one. But there's a whole list of them, and they're all great. They're all great. That's why I think I love the most about commencement speeches, because they tell the truth. I remember my sister's commencement speech. He had the governor was there. He was like, he just told him straight up. It was a technical community college, DTCC, Delaware Technical Community College. He said, I love addressing all of you because you all know what you want to do when you get out of college. That's the thing. You pay $60,000, $80,000 for education, and you were doing underwater basket weaving or something crazy like that, and you didn't really take it seriously. But now you're in debt, and you're working at Olive Garden not because you want to, but because you have to. You're working at Starbucks. That's me. I don't have debt. I don't have student debt. I didn't do that, but I did work for Starbucks and Olive Garden because I do not have a degree and I do not have an advanced certificate or something in a field, specified field. But I just think it's very fortunate for people to go to the institution of learning because of the social scene and because of the obviously for the academic scene. For the social scene, you'll get to learn things. You get to learn the different wine pairings. You get to learn the different codes and understanding of life based on people from all around the world. there's a total experience that comes with college. It's not just sex. It's not just going to class. It's everything. It's, understanding the landscape of a place. Like University of Delaware is, I guess you can say the word nestled. Can you say nestled? And can I say that? It's nestled into a small town called Newark, Delaware, where I'm from. And UD has it has a way of being, very forward thinking. And people argue, the gentrification, people sold their homes, and now they're out of the territory, they're out of the place where they once grew up, or raised kids, or whatever the case may be. I mean, that is whatever it is. It's the truth. I mean, you sold off your house. That's what you did. You didn't have to sell it. I don't think there was eminent domain. I doubt it was that. They just offered you something that you couldn't refuse. They offered you something that went into your soul and said, "Hey, I can sell this house right now." And they built up apartments, and they built up, condominiums, and they built up, stores and different things like that. But there's, if you know about UD, you know about the college life. You know that there's stores that Newark people know about, like Bing's Bakery, right down the street from the college. There's all different types of stores and shops that line, and restaurants that line the main street. And what's weird about Delaware, weird about Newark especially, is that you could go to the elementary school, the intermediary school, the middle school, and high school, and it could all be within like 20 minutes or 30-minute drive if you just to drive to each school. And then you can go, the high school is just almost literally a stone's throw away from the college. It's just that close. It's very close. It's not even that far away. So that's what I think about college and things like that. And women. Oh my God. There are beautiful women that walk. They come in with their summer dresses and stuff like that. Especially now, they're going back. Doing whatever they are. We're going to do for a summer. They already got their plans ready. They're going back to their home, or they're going back. They're going across abroad. They're doing multiple things, and that's the beauty of school too. I didn't get that experience. Now my nose wants to be itchy. I didn't get that experience, and I'm okay with that, because like I said, I laid down with a college chick before, and those are good times. that was a good time, but seriously, I think going to an institute of higher learning, no matter what it is. I mean, that's the irony. It's because Harvard, they say Harvard. I mean, it still is a very selective, high, probably number one or number two on the U.S. News Report of colleges and universities for academics. I don't know about the social esteem, but definitely for academics. But at the same time, Harvard, it may not be the best place to go. You could go to UT, University of Texas, at Austin, where you have great teachers like Tara Smith, Dr. Tara Smith, and Dr. Gregory Salmieri. You have different people like that holding it down for the objectivist crew. All for the OIS. I hate that. I tried it. And I hate it. I don't like OIS. I like objectivist. You try to shorten it, it's like, that's cute, OIS. But I say objectivist. See, I'm not picking my nose. I'm scratching my nose. I don't know why it's itchy right now. But anyway, yeah, so, and that's the thing about college. It's anything. That's the thing about high school. It's anything. You can get your GED when you're 88. You can get your doctorate when you're 100. Doesn't matter as long as you get it. I used to think real cynically, and sometimes I get the cynicism, and it creeps in, and I'm like, I gotta fight this because I get really like, okay, you get a degree, you live your whole life, and then you die. So what was the point of getting a degree, living a family, and then dying? Like, that's very cynical, and you can even say it's condescending, and it's very nihilistic. It's very nihilistic because the point is life itself. Even Mr. Shakespeare, Mr. Shakespeare got it all wrong. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Now, I said that kind of fast, so I remember every part of it, because if I stopped, I would probably forget something. And that was a terrible reading, by the way. But he got that wrong. Life isn't the walking shadow. Death is the walking shadow. Death is the poor player who struts and frets his hour upon the stage and heard no more. Death, that's death. Salute to Rick James. Let me say this since I'm in my new space and he wants to be here. He wanted me to be here, so I'm here. I mean, I wanted to be here. That's the reason why I'm here, but it just happens that he likes to be here too. Ladies and gentlemen, Meb, you wanted the best, you got the best. Back in the blue room, by popular demand, I present the man who wears his I don't know what that is. Rotograver to run, not walk into the looking glass to see. Skylar Sond. He didn't even finish it. A printing system using a rotary press with an intelligio cylinder, with intelligio cylinders typically running at high speed and used for long print runs of magazines and stamps. Okay. It's a printing system using a rotary press. So I guess I'm the press or something. I don't know if you wanted to use that word, or I've never even heard that word before. Rotograver. But salute to you, Rick James. Thank you for stopping by. Tell more people about me. That's what I'm saying. Tell 5 people, don't tell 6 people. You know what the deal is. So, it's like a monocular eyeglass piece. Oh, okay. Got you. I didn't get that from the definition, but okay. I think you meant a monocle. I think that's what you meant. A monocle. I think that's what you meant. But yeah. So I'm looking for that woman. She's out here. I'm in search. I'm in search. I don't like. You can show me your titties. You can show me your ass, and that's cute. And that's me. We can get it down. But I want to have a woman that has a mind that I can argue with. That we don't have to agree on everything. We can start formulating plans for living our lives together, married or not. We just be together. That's a joke. I can't remember who said it, but he said, I like them big backs. I'm sure you do, Rick James. But anyway, he said, we love each other so much. Let's get the government involved. That's what happens with weddings and marriages. That's what happens with marriages. Let's get the government involved. Let's see what they're about. Let's understand them and what they have to say regarding our union. It's weird. It's a weird space to be in. It's a very weird space. So yes, I just am enamored by women who are smart. I had a great streak. I had 4 serious relationships, all of them very sharp. They weren't dim-witted. They weren't, they were very sharp. They were very keen. They were very into, intelligence. That's why I like them. That's what I like about women. Like I said, I can take a space cadet. We can, go right around the town and do crazy stuff. But I like to have a woman with. She doesn't have to have a degree. She can just have an understanding of the world. She's traveled the world. She's done things that are comparable to an elder stateswoman. That's what I said. I was saying that no ditzy blondes. I said in their head. I said a space cadet. One of them anyway. That's one of them. One of them. Stuff gets on my nerves. Oh, man. So yeah, so I'll take I don't like to use the term ditzy broad. Excuse me, ditzy blonde. There's ditzy black, brown, red, white, yellow, and blonde came from Africa. Did you know that? Blue eyes, gray eyes came from Africa. Did you know that? Is a woman that smells bad a seal breaker? And if she gets clean, she can take a bath. I'll run the water. I'll run the water for her. She can take a bath while I read from the book of Nehemiah. I stole that from Mr. Troy Star Terrain. I stole that. I think you meant a deal breaker. You put a seal breaker. It's a totally different situation. But yeah. So it really is something that I've been searching for. I've been doing digitally. I haven't been doing it much else. I'm doing it mostly on the digital scene. And the weird thing I said before, I said Plenty of Fish used to be about dating. That was their main thing. Now it's all about streaming. You're not really engaged one on one with the person. That would be awesome. I don't understand why they don't have that. Maybe it's a money thing. If it's a money thing, I totally understand. I'll say great. Yup. That's what it has to be. But other than that, forget about it. I might go back to what that was called. Oh my god, I can't think of it. But Plenty of Fish was one of them, and maybe Bumble. I think I was on Bumble because Bumble has to have the female, heterosexual situation. The female has to come to the male, not the male come to the female. That's what I understand it as. I may be incorrect, but let me know if I'm off base. FarmersOnly.com, ChristianMingle.com, silversingles.com or something like that. You can start just naming all these different sites that represent. So I can't do farmersonly.com. I'm not a farmer. But I'm glad they do that. I just told a few minutes ago. You got 8. You got 8 likes. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 8th like. Appreciate that. Thank you. But I was just talking a few minutes ago about the farmers, the agricultural revolution. How in 1900 there were 40% of America was agricultural based, job, different workers, people, farmers, stuff like that. Today, it's anywhere between less than 2% or 1%. That's amazing. And we have more food than we've ever had in any time period in human history. We have more produce. We have greater food. We have better food. We have, smarter food, if you can say, the food is smart. The way it's made is smart. there's intelligence behind it that people didn't realize could happen years ago. They have, satellites that survey the soil. They have, different, devices. They use iPads, and they can plan out when to grow and when to, harvest, and when to, take it in. I have 0 people in here right now. Rick James is not even in here right now. He might pop in and be like, oh, I'm here. But I'm just saying what it shows on here. It says 0. It says 0 viewers. But I'm having a good time. This is a test for me. I wanted to see what happens a little bit earlier. I wanted to see what happens going into the 4 o'clock hour. See how serious things could get. But I'm just happy. I'm happy. I feel good. I write every day. I do this show. Try to do it every day. That's what gives me, a reason to get up in the morning, to tackle the work, to see if I can get a back. I'm just going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I had February, March, April, and May top story, at least one top story every month. Every single month, I had at least one top story. And you kind of know when it's going to be a top story. I had an understanding that this is going to be a top story. I had that at least twice out of the 4 times, out of the 4 months. So I definitely do appreciate everybody that, contributed to the fact that I got a top story on vocal.media. I already put vocal.media in my the comment section. If you scroll up, you'll see vocal.media chapters, Smarty Stand. That's the beautiful world we live in now, where we can be creative. I don't have to punch a clock to push a mop to get the guap. I used to do that. I used to collect garbage. I was a garbage man. And people like to say, oh, it's always recycling. I don't know. Oh, recycling. It's trash. Don't tell. It's garbage. It's rubbish. It's refuse. Well, it's not refuse, but it's things people throw away because they don't want them anymore. What's that? Trash. You can say all kinds of cute things and stuff like that, but I was a trash man. And I'm proud of that. I made a good living. Good living. $35,000 a year, tax free. That's like $40,000 or $50,000 with taxes. And I get $56,000 a year tax free now because of my Social Security and disability. So I'm very proud of that. I'm happy with that. I earned it. I deserve it for being in the Marine Corps and going through a whole bunch of bullshit. Whole bunch. Just a lot of bullshit. And they designated it. I didn't say, oh, I have bipolar disorder. They said, no, you have bipolar disorder. It's 2008. I'm just looking like, damn. They got me. They got me on the hook. I said, I'm a maniac now. I'm a psychopath. So I'm crazy. But in all, I'm very fortunate. I can do this. I will be in work. I'll be working at some job that I hate, that I have to do just to pay my bills. I don't have to worry about that. I do whatever I love to do. And I'm not a millionaire or billionaire. I really don't want to be a millionaire or billionaire until they change the tax code to 0 taxes for everybody on income for the whole state and the whole world, or the whole state and whole country. Excuse me. But if the world saw that, they're like, oh, look what America did. We can do the same thing. I don't even know what accent that was. Don't ask what accent that was. But yeah, so if they change the tax code to 0 income tax, only on consumption tax and certain items, big price items like houses and cars and stuff like that, they'll get taxed, by consumption, tax on consumption. I mean, marijuana, drugs, they'll get taxed. That was a Jamaican accent, man. No, that wasn't Jamaican. That was just, I don't even know what that was. That was awful. It was a terrible accent, is what it was. But salute to you, Rick James, standing in with me. Appreciate that, sir. But yeah. So I have to really, thank. Don't tax me for a honey bun. Don't tax. No, well, I would say tax you for a honey bun. Tax you for a honey bun. It should be the reverse of my state. My state is consumptive. Is no taxes on consumption whatsoever. Nothing. I mean, I think, like I said, large purchases like cars and houses have taxes, and certain other agreements and products. But no income tax. Should be no income tax across the board, and for the federal government, for everybody. People say, "Oh, how can we build bridges and roads and stuff like that?" They should all be privatized. And people say, "Oh, well, if they were making the roads, go into the places where they wanted to go." Well, they would lose? They would lose money because they'll say, "Well, we got competition. Our competition is saying that they want to make roads for everybody. They want to make roads, for everyone to drive on, and just at a small cost. Either they pay every month, or every time they drive by, like the Easy Pass or something like that. Who knows what possibilities we could have? We don't know. That's the beauty of capitalism. That's the beauty of laissez-faire capitalism, because we don't know what it would be like in that world, in that realm. We don't know. We don't know. We don't understand it yet. We have a technological system. Just imagine just 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we didn't have, like I said, artificial intelligence and learned machines as much. It wasn't part of the culture as much. 20 years ago, oh my God, we had, those little tiny phones and flip phones and stuff like that. 30 years ago, what do we have? We didn't even know what the internet was 30 years ago. What's the internet? Seems like it's gonna be something interesting. What? 40 years ago, we had they had cell phones and suitcases with a wire attached to them. Like it just, you can go back and back and back and back. But I'm just giving you an example of what it's like, for people to change their ideas. If we can change the ideas of technology and stuff like that, we can change it for morality and laws and stuff like that. Because there wasn't always an income tax. That's a fact. America did not always have an income tax. It just started in 1913. And it was put in place, I think, in 1914. So it didn't always have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like that now. But we're talking about the wrong things. We're talking about, climate change and all this other bullshit. And I say that because of the idea of climate change. Yes, there could be climate change. That's true. There could be climate change. But we ought not demonize the people that make oil, natural gas, and coal affordable, cheap, reliable, and great in our lives. That's the difference. So I think, people, and then other people are going to say, "Oh, if we get rid of taxes, the world, how are we going to survive? How are we going to pay for our different items?" Like I said, the roads and bridges, stuff like that. Like I said, those will be privatized, and people will have the opportunity or the option or choice to pay for the military, the police course, and the police and the law court. Excuse me, the police and law courts and the military. And if they can't pay for the police, the law courts, and the military, then this country shouldn't stand. It doesn't have the right to exist. It should just fall into the sea. It should just collapse. Because anybody worth their salt, anybody that has an understanding of their life and how selfish they should be, they should say, "God damn, I couldn't see myself, living in a country without a military, a police force, and a law courts. Couldn't see that happening. I put in $1,000 a year, something like that. I put in $5,000 a year, whatever the case may be. Whatever I can do, I'm gonna make sure I can do that. And collecting it from 300 million people, how much? That's trillions of dollars. So I think America will be fine. I think we'll be all right. I don't think there'll be any issue. So we have to contend with the idea that we can't have a tax system. We can't have an idea where taxes aren't readily available to people. That's what we have to have. That's the notion we have to have. We have to have that thought process that says that we're going to be able to find out what it means to be truly American. Truly American is liberated, free. Free from what? That's the question. Free from what? Free from force. And what force? What force is that? Outside forces, inside forces, interior, internal criminals, exterior or foreign invaders, and settling law disputes rationally. That's the difference. That's what we have to contend with. That's what we always have to fight for. We have to have that same kind of grit and might. But they said, bread and circus. Give them enough to eat. America's got enough to eat. Trust me. America's got, even though it's starting to go down because of Ozempic, but America's definitely got enough to eat. Goes back to the farmers. Farmers, they grow the foods. They make the different agricultural amenities, and they make it better for everyone. But but circus, sports and everything like that. I mean, sports radio is one of the biggest businesses in the world. Sports TV, biggest businesses in the world. The people that are on the field, people that are on the ice, people that are on the track, they're getting millions of dollars, sometimes close to $1 billion. But we have to view that in a different light. We can't see it in the same light as before. Can't do that. Can't do that. So when you have the Greta Thunbergs of the world that want to demonize and shame people that create, build, make, produce natural gas, and coal. These three elements, the fossil future. That's what Alex Epstein says. Or is it Epstein? See, I'm messing up. It's either Epstein or Epstein. I think it's Epstein. I want to make sure. I think it's Epstein. So Epstein, he's a great guy. Read his books. The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels and Fossil Future. Wonderful reads. I highly recommend them. Yeah, Rick James, I think you're right. He says Greta Thunberg. I think he meant Thunberg. Goes to jail every other week. Yeah, she goes to jail. I don't know what she does, but she does akin to the idea of what tree huggers used to do, tie themselves or chain themselves to trees and stuff like that. And then once they, were hungry, had to let go and, get carted to jail. But that's the state of affairs we live in right now. We got 2 wars, one in Europe, one in Southwest Asia, I guess you can call it. Because Israelis are technically Asians. That's why I say yellow people to distinguish them. Epicanthic folds. Yellow. They're different. So if there's any questions from Rick James, I'll take him. If he has anything to add, anyone else want to add? Who else is in here? There's 2 people in here that I can see. So if you want to ask a question, go ahead. We're well past the hour mark. We're going on 2 hours. So if you want to ask a question, feel free. I'm about to be out in a few seconds because I did a whole 2-hour show. I don't think I've ever gone this far. I had a good time. I love expressing myself. This is my soapbox. This is what I say. So if nobody is here, I'd like to say, hey, thank you, everybody that came in, everybody that liked. I got a great number of likes, 8 likes. Got 2 supporters right now. I had a few supporters earlier. The most I had was 4. So I appreciate everyone who came in. So I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Thank you very much. Take care.